Goodbye everybody. Good day everybody and welcome to the third Vanilla versus Designer tournament, and tonight I'm gonna play against Genius Knight. He is currently playing a Swarm deck with some scary cards also as a designer. So that's a cheer for him. It's an amazing player. His deck is a bit tricky, but maybe once he gets off and then goes into the late game, he has Harvestral Souls and Bucks of Wasteland. So those cards will be problematic. Very problematic. Well, we got Wizards, Witches, and we got Beards. So I think we want to keep those, especially for Shady Ghoul, which is an amazing thing to have on. And then Witches of the Wild to spawn another one. I think I will go for Beast of Terror. Probably let's just put it right here. Next turn, most likely Beards of Crowglyph here. And let's see what we can do with Witches of the Wild. I think we will gonna take some damage. He has Devastators, so that's potentially super scary. Maybe I should have thought about it before cycling out. Otherwise I had like green prototypes here and could devastate a skill with Witches. Yeah, now I think about it, I'm currently playing super greedy. But I guess he doesn't have it. Or he's scared of me countering it. Let's see what he comes up with. This is by far the most greediest play. This is actually super good for us. So now I think we just go for this bad boy. You just use Witches next turn, discard 5 mana. So we got 6 mana next turn. Do we want to cycle Soul Crushers out? Think we do. Get something cheap going on. Hopefully it spawns. Well, this is also pretty sweet. So next turn we are going for Witches of the Wild here. Unless he's gonna do something which kills Beards of Crowglyph. But if not, we're gonna spawn another 4-strength dude forward. So that will be putting a lot of pressure on Genius Knight. We also got Fateless Prophets to destroy his own Beards of Crowglyph. Well, now we are blocking ourselves a little bit. So that's a pity. Yeah, we're not gonna do any Witches of the Wild shenanigans. I think I like to go with Bucks of Wasteland. He doesn't have any cards to deal with it directly. And this way Witches of the Wild next turn might be very sweet because of these cards. I think I'm gonna cycling for things to deal with these dudes, because we're gonna tanking some damage, which isn't convenient. We're also going in with 3. So we can play Fel Flares and Witches of the Wild. Actually, we cannot summon one thing if we also want to play Fel Flares behind this style. I really want to cycle into my beast. I think we just start with this one, see what pops. I think this is fine. We deal 1 damage, we summon a 2-strength dude, and we block our own baseline. We go to 6, but I think I'm very safe at the moment. We almost got crazy bombers. We got Twilight Prowlers as well, cleaning stuff up. I think he also wants to start cleaning baseline here. Like, even if he goes with Bucks of Wasteland, which is a very strong card, he will get enough value, but he will lose a lot of tempo. One, two, three. I will teach him. Brings him back all the way here. And quite problematic for him to put anything on my baseline. And if he does, we still have crazy bombers to clear it. Do we want to cycle Blood Ministers? Probably should have done it earlier. I think we're gonna wait for another Hairy Chestnuts and Witches of the Wild deal 2 base damage directly. But for now we just need to protect our own baseline. And Crazy Bombers is a really good way to do that. Piece of Terror, the same. Fateless Prophets deals with strong dudes. Yeah, Ben Heralds, it's fine. Basically, if we use Piece of Terror, things die off here. I don't think we're gonna need Crazy Bombers. Yeah, this is way better. Putting in a lot of pressure at the moment. And then we still have Witches of the Wild next turn. This is 7. So you can choose to attack Soul Crushers, or you can choose to attack Hairy Chestnuts. Let's move these skills around. Yeah, Ben Heralds is quite good without the amount of tokens he has. Probably if I had Birds of Growglyph, I wouldn't play it. Need to put it here. Then he also receives 1 more damage. This balances all around. I think it's fine. So we deal plenty. We can go for this one. And for green prototypes and beards. There is. Alright, let's just do it. Yeah, there's no way he can clear this. And if he does, then we still have defense on our own baseline. So I think this is concluding our first match. He wasn't using any Harvester of Souls. I think it's very tricky for him to use it. The game ends too quickly. Nice. Right, GG. Well played. I think my deck is just a bit more aggressive. And with my Beast of Terror counters his satires pretty well. And Harvester of Souls is also a very good card, but a bit slow. And I don't have that many tokens he wants to cycle. Alright, so our second match immediately continues. I have no Beards of Growglyph, so no luck on my side there. Brothers in Arms is a pretty sweet card as well. 3 mana for 3 strength steel. Yeah, playing green prototypes. Naked. Feels really awkward. I think I will just play it here. So it's not easy for him to put his own Beards of Growglyph in front. play this a bit defensively. Next turn I might be playing Soul Crushers. Crazy Bombers will be cycled out. And these skills needs to move a little bit. This will die anyway. This is just for my front. Now we can use Soul Crushers on this bad boy. We still have Blood Ministers. Crazy Bombers needs to get out. Too expensive. Do we want to do this? It spawns at 3 strength, it's 9. This is 8. This puts a bit more pressure on my opponent. This one is very good, right? This one is still also for board clearing. This one is pretty slow. So even if it's 1 more strength, obviously this isn't optimal. But it's better than nothing. We can still use Soul Crushers on the Brothers in Arms. Too bad it's out of range of Blood Ministers. Right, he goes all in. That's the spirit. We just go for this. See what happens. We got Blood Ministers for Devastator, so I'm baiting here somewhat. Otherwise we got the Witches and Fel Flares. Lucky to draw the Witchers here. He's doing damage here at the moment. Most likely we will take this all. Pen Heralds will be problematic, but as you see he has already run up this thingy. Yeah, he has Harvester of Souls, which is a lot of strength pushing forward, which I cannot convert, and then this is pretty awkward. But at that point we're just gonna use Witches and Fel Flares, hope for the best. He got its token. We got another 1 strength dude. So we're dealing a lot of damage here. This will drain to 4, this to 3, so this dies as well. We can use Fel Flares, put pressure in front. I'm dealing another 1 damage. So we are slowly chipping him down, and then cards like Soul Crushers can become very problematic. Like normally I wouldn't want to do it like this because his own Beards of Crowglyph can be very annoying, but he already has a 1 strength token here. And we already talked about it, it's pretty slow. And now we are maybe pushing for another 1 damage. Getting Genius Knight on 6. But we need to be afraid because he has a 5 strength, 0 strength. 5 strength, 0 mana token. Once those cards get into play, he can basically kill a lot of units for free. So now next turn we have 4 strength on his baseline again. He might running this is just not enough. Yeah, this is pretty sweet, right? Soul Crush is also sweet. Just want to have 3, and then we can use Soul Crushers as well. Yeah, this makes sense. So we basically dealt with the threat. We got Crazy Bombers going on. Most likely this will survive, even if he has like Beast of Terror, 4 mana left to deal with these 2 units. That's not gonna happen. And we can use Crazy Bombers to charge. And we still deal 1 damage now. And this will still go in for 2. This gets 3 strength, so it comes in Blood Minister range. So this one is pretty sweet to do because we got a lot of dudes. Don't think we got this. This is such an awkward turn. I think we go for display. So we have no way to get close, but now we have him on 2 strength. Most likely we will gonna draw into our Witches of the Wild. Next turn we're gonna kill this dude. So if we cycle Beast of Terror in Witches of the Wild, he dies. Defensively, well, we have Blood Ministers and Beast of Terror. Like Blood Ministers here with Devastators. That ruins his whole attack. Beast of Terror to clean up the rest. Maybe it will clean up the token satires, but that's it. If we need to, I prefer base clear. I think this is a GG. Ooh, just in time, because most likely he will have his 5 strength token this turn. I think they have just too much power. And he doesn't use his Bucks of Wasteland once. Yeah, that's why I always try to kill all his units or put a lot of pressure on, so he needs to sacrifice and then cannot make really good trades. So well played to Genius Knight. I think he has a fun deck to play with, but I think my Shadowfen deck is just a little bit stronger, and it can copy stuff like Shady Ghoul is not good for him. I can copy his Dreadfont stuff, and all his satires are getting cancelled with my Beast of Terror, and also eats off with my Birds of Crowglyph and my Hairy Chestnuts. So yeah, I think this deck is countering his deck pretty well, and I have some pressure methods, so his Harvestral Souls do not get a lot of value because it doesn't get into that much of a late game. So GG to him. Hopefully he will maybe use a deck change. Maybe, I'm not sure. I think Swarm is very weak in general on the equals on this kind of format. I think it will become very hard for him to make a very high level deck with it. But I think he did a good job so far by getting some pressure on. So good game to him. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back with the 4th match. Cheers.